Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be creating this peace sign on the gold round frame. If you haven't seen the previous video where I made the mosaic that's on the right side, the bottom right side, please go check out that video. I will leave it linked in this video in the description box. This was for a first birthday party. It was the groovy theme, and the colors we are using is mustard by Tuftex, Dusty Rose by Kalisan, Burnt Orange by Kalisan. We have Rosewood by Tuftex. We have Mint Empowerment by Tuftex, and we had Cameo by Tuftex. So that is all the colors, and yeah, I think that's everything. So let's get started, guys. So starting off, I wanted to show you guys how I made the daisies that's in the middle of the peace sign. So it's kind of hard to see, but I'm basically using 9-inch balloons that I had, and I am sizing them to 7 inches. And I am making a clustered, or I guess a 5 balloons to make the daisy. And then I will be making another one, which will be another cluster of 5, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other and tie them just neck to neck. Nothing I use to tie them with. I just use the neck of the balloon to tie them. And now I'm just going to put that balloon in the middle, which will be a mustard, and I sized that to 4 inches on my balloon sizer. And I'm going to put that mustard on both sides. You don't technically need it on the other side since it will be only showing on one side, but I didn't mind just putting them on both sides. So now we're on site, and these are clusters or 8 balloons. You can do 6 or 8. Today I wanted to do 8 just because I wanted to look really full, and because we was outside, if anything was to pop, I know I have like those extra balloons on there, so I didn't have to add any more. So right now I'm just literally twisting the balloons around the pole twice, and then I'm just shaping them and making sure they are stacked on top of each other. And for some of these colors I had 18-inch balloons, 17-inch balloons for the Tuftex and the Kalisan. So I had some larger balloons that I did use in there. And when you add the one with the larger balloons, you want to make sure those large balloons are facing the front. So that's what I did on here. And I had them paired together with 2 clusters tied together, and that's how I added them on here. There was no pattern I was doing. I was just mixing them up. I didn't want to do a pattern, so I was just mixing them up how I did it. Even though we are not all the way done, I started to add the 5 inches on because we was working outdoors and like the inflator thing was indoors. Everything we inflated, I basically just wanted to get that done and add it on the frame, and then when we needed to add more stuff. Plus I had my I had Noelle with me today, so having her able to start the 5 inches as I am still working on the clusters and everything, and me jumping in as well. I know usually I wait till the end, but the balloons like flying away in the back. Usually I wait till the end to add the 5 inches on, but because I have her helping, there's no need to wait. Like, as long as the area is ready to add those 5 inches, it definitely saves more time with her just going ahead. When I'm working by myself, of course, it's easier for me to know where I'm at, but once I finish a section and I know I'm not going back to add anything else, then it's perfectly fine for her. Or if you have someone working with you, to just start adding those 5 inches on, it moves, everything much faster, and you get things done pretty quickly that way, I think. So now we are starting the peace sign part. Now, one thing I would have done differently for this is I think I would have took a 260, maybe 2 of them, tied it together and made a straight line going in the middle, and then 2 straight lines going diagonally on the sides to make the peace sign, and then added the balloons on the 260. So it kind of give Okay. It gives the peace sign, I guess, some kind of support in me not just tying them neck to neck, because when I was tying the daisy, as you will see, to the cluster of 5 balloons, which I made those out of, there were 5 balloons on those 5 the cluster. There was 5 balloons on each layer because I wanted to be round. If you do 4 balloons, it kind of make like a square shape, so I didn't want to do 4, I wanted to do 5, so make a more rounded shape, FYI. But when I tied the daisy to the cluster above it, it kind of pulled it a little bit, and I actually think I used a 260, but it kind of pulled it a little too tight, and it gave me a hard time with all the daisies on here when I was doing it, because I wanted to implement the daisy inside the peace sign, like a part of it. And it kind of gave me a hard time because I guess the necks was just pulling it way too tight, and it wasn't just like sitting underneath how I envisioned it. So I think if I would have used 260s as support, just going straight, especially because it was straight lines, I think I could have done it. I would have just tied it directly to the frame, like the top of the frame, then the bottom of the frame, and then connect them in the middle, going to the next side on the sides of the frame, and then maybe slide the 5 inches on, and they would have been holding on with the support of the 260, and that way the daisy wouldn't have been pulled by the 5 inches at the bottom and at the top, and kind of making it bend a little bit, because it's kind of hard. At the end, I end up getting the top of the top daisy to like sit pretty good, but the bottom one, you can still see it kind of bent over, and it was bothering me, but it still came out really pretty. That's probably the only thing I would have done differently. And I feel like, well, when you making any kind of design, perhaps if you having struggles with the design, you can kind of use 260s as a support. I don't know if it's like a straight line and things like that. I think you can do it. We will test it out again pretty soon. But now I'm just adding on. Some of these I skipped through because I had to make like reels and things. So some of this, it may jump to like another part. But now I'm adding on like the right side, left side of the peace sign. And for that daisy, I used just 5-inch balloons. I believe it was just 2 pumps I ended up using. And that's how I made it the same way as I made the 9-inch, the white ones that I made. I basically used 2 clusters on top of each other. And then added the mustard balloon in the middle, and that's how I made that. So yeah, I think using it, and then my the clusters that I made of the 5-inch balloons to like be a part of the peace sign, I kind of made them too big. They were 5 layers all together, but I think I should have did maybe 3 or 4, because I ended up having to take some off, as you see me playing with some now that I took off on that left side bottom one, the Cameo. I think I should have ended up doing maybe just 3 layers and not 5. 5 was pretty big. So I mean, it was my first time. I just kind of did an estimate, but it came out good still. Alright guys, so this is the final look. This is how everything came out. I was really happy, and I kept the balloons that matte look. I didn't use any kind of balloon shine or anything. I thought the matte look went great with the theme of everything, so this is how I kept the balloons. The client was really happy. I was happy. It came out really pretty though.